I've been playing survival BR games since 2015 with H1Z1, and currently I play PUBG. My general range of combat goes towards close to medium range. I try to stay alive until towards the end, and then I fight from there. My role within the team is usually playing support, carrying a lot of smokes, trying to make sure I'm the one reviving everyone, and then hopefully by the end of the match, I'm still alive and helping them out. So. If I had to pick one circle and one final area, I'd prefer to see an ending either on the west or east coast of Erangel, or somewhere outside of Leonis in Miramar. To be a consistent team in PUBG, I believe you require a tremendous amount of map knowledge and understanding of how other teams move around, and plenty of hours within your own team of just repetition, cycles, rounds played, etc. My longest distance confirmed kill in PUBG, I think, has been about 1,000 meters, roughly, with a sniper rifle. My favorite building type in Erangel is the unpushable two-story. It looks right on the outside, has a single staircase inside. I believe the best training method when you're solo is to play one-man squad. Carnate 8 with SCAS with a 4X, absolutely.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we're coming to you live from Katowice in Poland, and we have one more game to determine who is going to be crowned our Intel Extreme Masters PUBG champion. At the moment, it's looking like that team right there, Vanga, is looking pretty good, although we don't know how the shake-up in the standings is going just yet. We'll update you in a few moments' time, of course, as we continue things on. So one more game left for all the marbles, as I'm joined here to my left-hand side by two of the most beautiful marbles, as we do have Mr. Toffees and Vanga. I don't know how I even did that. I said Vanga as well, Avenger. Unbelievable, I'm useless at this. And overall, what we've seen so far is we saw a little bit more aggressiveness in that last game. It's down to game number 8. Do we now have the potential of people hunting down a Vanguard? Do we have these kind of crazier situations? Because there are a lot of teams now that are guaranteed not going to be taking those prizes. There could be a lot of Hail Marys. There could be a lot of potential for people to just go out there and try and upset some people's days.
I mean, it's definitely possible, but I think really, let's ask the guy here who knows sometimes what it's like to be in the bottom of a bracket. What do you do when you know you can't qualify?
Thank you for that.
GG.
No, but what we saw yesterday actually was something I really liked from Kangwin. So they have a manager, analyst, coach present, and they swapped their things up after 2 bad games,
Right.
and in the 3rd game they got 4th. So having a coach or analyst present and being able to coach you and like get feedback is really important.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Vanguard and the other top teams have. I know Optic does, and I'm not sure if they're going to change up something yet, but I would. If I was top right now, I would change.
And I'm giving you a hard time because we're friends and I've watched you like fight so hard. But I mean, and the reality is, if you're in that 14th position and you know you don't stand a chance of necessarily taking home the money, you as a pro, you've been in that position, you've sort of fought for it. What do you do? Do you go after the top teams? Do you play for position? You try to make highlight reels? Like, what do you look for?
I mean, a win is still a win. So if you do good and get a win, you still get highlighted, you still get something out of that. But after 8 games, it's 2 weeks of an online league, so it's not that bad. I'm used to being able to play over 20 or 24 games, and I'm not always in the bottom of the bracket there.
I know that.
Oh, we know. We absolutely know. We know. So let's take a look back at just kind of game number 7 as to what things may have happened. Again, we mentioned that it was a very, very aggressive round, more so than usual, as we just take a little bit of a look back here. And it's something that, a lot of people will be gunning for the teams like Avanga. So again, one of the big winners here from me for game number 7 was Noble.
Yeah.
I managed to just catch gun speed there, and he knows how consistent they be. Of course they do. And that, he's still saying, we can still get 2nd. We're still gunning for it. We're still looking for a big performance here in game number 8.
Yeah, and I mean, they're in the top 4. So I did the quick math. And
quick math.
Yes,
Nice.
you see, so we have Avanga, Optic, Noble, and Method in the top 4. So they're still in the money, and they want to keep that position and maybe even extend it even further to being in the top 2.
Ooh, I just got word that we can take a look at the standings here. So let's check this out, because this means a lot going into our final game. Avanga, oh, look at that, almost 400 points ahead at this juncture. they have got a very good shot of being able to take that first place, unless they get hot drop, insta-killed, and then that team goes on to, say, win first place, which needs to be something like an Optic Gaming. Vanguard is sitting pretty right now.
Well, in the last game, what we saw them do is they took out Optic, but they did not do that until they had confirmed sort of a top 10 situation,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
So they sort of waited, they made sure that they had made the top half of the field-ish, and then they pushed into Optic and took out the only threat to beat them. So I expect to see them do something like that again. I mean, keep in mind, they drop right next to Optic. These are two teams who loot within 50 meters of each other that are sharing 1 and 2. So also, you got to wonder if you're a pro team, maybe it's time to start looting North Georgia Pole, because that's got some magic in it, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, Avenger, looking at if you're a Vanguard now, you do basically what you want. You've got yourself 400 points there to play with, breaching between that second spot with Optic Gaming there. You can happily play it slow, just drop very far away if you really want, and be sitting pretty at the moment.
I mean, we heard one of them, one of the other guys here at backstage who talked with the Vanguard, and they said, Vanguard said, and I quote, "We will be running with pistols and crossbows if we're 100% certain of being winning at last game." But they're 412 points behind, so if they die early, it's still open for Optic. Well, but the other guys, they're quite far behind.
And
there's a huge fight still.
And it could happen because there's teams on the bottom who want to make a name for themselves, right? We talked about that. If you want to get back into this game, and in game 8, you go for highlight reels and you go for lots of kills. And that's exactly what I think some of these teams are going to do.
Oh, what a story this will be if Vanguard are able to take the tournament as a whole. As they qualified for Oakland, were not able to go there, and they've got the potential redemption story here in Katowice. It's time now to get game number 8 underway here for the PUBG Invitational, as it's one final opportunity for people to get placements.
Thank you, James and the desk, setting the scene perfectly for the final round here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice PUBG Invitational. It's the last chance to dance for these teams. They have one more go at it. The top tier of the table looks good, Rich, but what are your thoughts coming into this one?
I mean, the big question is now, and it kind of got brought up early on the desk, is anybody going to be that team and think, well, you know what? We've got absolutely nothing to lose here. Let's just go and cause some mayhem, cause some problems, play a little bit of matchmaking and hot drop, and potentially, you know, not necessarily go for a team, but just go for as many kills as humanly possible, because if you want to be chasing a Vanguard for that #1 spot, the boys from the CIS region, they have been slaying out of their minds, and that's why they are around 400 points clear of Optic Gaming. A chicken dinner isn't going to do you justice here to get the win. You are going to have to kill, kill, kill all day long. But again, everything on the line. But with this being the very last match of this weekend, honestly, this could just be a bloodbath for any team who's not kind of in the contention for that #1 spot.
Absolutely could be, and it's Katowice. Legends are born in this arena. We'll be seeing where the plane goes any second now once the teams are ready, and it looks like I'm seeing early, it's all up for grabs here. This could be an excellent game to define who walks away with that prize, getting the lion's share of that chunk of change. And there it is, from south to north, over Ferry Pier, all the way up to the western side of Severny. It's looking good for these teams, but we need to look out for where they go. Are there differences? Are there hot drops? It's all up for grabs.
Okay, so let's talk about this playing route then, as you say, from the south going all the way up to north, with just a little bit of a shift towards that west area. Georgia Pole's going to be an easy reach for any team that wants to take it. Kinguin jumping out, they're not going to their usual spot because they know KSV is going to be chilling in their TS tempo. They'll do the same old, take the west coast SST. They're going to go down to Prim. They're going to chill happily. Noble, last men out of the plane as per usual. Which way they're going to go? Severny? Nope, it's going to be Zaki. Unless they actually split, you can see Edax, probably the team leader, the IGL, might suggest something different. They're all now looking away, but they do. Here comes the split then straight down the middle. TSM, they're going to go long drop and make their way to Yaznaya. Kinguin, they'll take the middle area method as per usual. They'll just do Pachinki. Wouldn't expect anything different. The interesting ones, which will be kind of the game changer here, Lauren, we look towards Vitality, we look towards FaZe, we look towards C9. These are the kind of teams that have been taking that East Coast area. Melter Power, Milta, Lipovka. They're not actually going to be easy reach of that. They're either going to go for it late game, get the vehicles and work their way over there, or they may opt to go somewhere different. But again, everything on the line here, still anybody's game, regardless of how far a Vanguard are in front. It only takes one team to drop on them, kill them instantly, and potentially they may win this event. It comes down to Optic, though. Will Optic decide, okay, we got to play the game here? Should we just push them and slay them because first circle's in, and it's been gifted to them?
All right, a Vanga and Optic, it's all eyes on you. You get to loop. You also got to be careful. You can see the Vanga side pulling themselves back together. They've got a car, they've got vehicles. It's not going to be a big thing. And there's early fights between Optic and a Vanga. That is huge. If one of them loses out, if they start feeling pressure, this could be the moment where it crumbles. It all comes down to this round. You've seen how close the points are. Avanga are in the lead, but if Optic come in with a couple of kills early, take them out first. You don't know how this is going to end.
You know what's a really interesting one of that? LGD's just pushing in. Absolutely not a single care in the world. We have to get on board with Optic, which we have done indeed. 17 now. You could hear the early... We saw the early shots on the minimap, but LGD have turned up to the pie. LGD are here.
They're going across the bridge.
They're in North George. They've just decided to go straight past KSV. Are they doing it? Are they just saying, let's get involved, boys, and have a laugh here?
They're going for it. Well, it might just feed Optic, or they cause the biggest problem of this tournament for the likes of Optic and Avanga. Here we go. We need to keep our eyes on this. It's very easy to segment up this area, though. You can play safety in locking off certain positions in North George.
Hypox on his own, Lauren. This is where the danger comes now. KSV have cemented themselves, excuse me, LGD in between. Yep. How does this work out? Do Optic look at LGD and then do Avanga say, well, you know what? You're shooting them. We'll join in the party like we have been doing every single game and just mop up. Do they cut off Hypoc? Do they take the head off the snake and then go for the rest of the team? Right now, LGD have just caused a massive problem for your number one and number two team here in Game 8.
Speaking of that, though, elsewhere, TSM having to be careful. There are players present, and Vis is in the middle of the road. Not the place to be right now, Vis. Get running, buddy. Get on out of there. But it's Smack to take the bullets. Papaya, not so sweet right now, taking out Smack, and TSM are in trouble. They were sitting within the top positions, not in the 3, but now losing out early really causes problems for them. KLG here just looking deadly. Feels
bad, man. Smack, the first person to fall. I think it was potentially the same again in the previous round. Smitty, shotgun in hand. 686, it's a very nasty weapon. This is really tanked up, though. I can see that he's got a helmet, but we've got a level 2 chest on one.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's just seen the back.
Smitty!
It's such a dirty weapon, like, especially in early game, because a shotgun...
He's coming in.
It's the only weapon that will knock a level 3 helmet and a level 3
And look at the rest of his team coming over. This is a caged animal. I don't think he's got any gun yet, but he's just staying alive, cowering in the corner. He gets spotted, and there it is. The execution coming out from Smitty, and it's TSM in tatters. But you're seeing the fights now break out as well. Tempo Storm closing in with Method, Optic. All these players are on top of each other over by Georgia Pole. What an insane final game we're having here, Rich.
As TSM's chances kind of shot to pieces. Leighton lays down the hammer. The vehicle's smoking away. A few more bullets. Bye-bye, Maluk. The explosion comes through. Easy kill for him. 10 points in the bag for Method. Nice little stat there to start your running game number 8. They are a team that are in contention for number 1 spot. But it all comes down to Avanga. Do they mess up? Do they get pushed? Do they get kills? This is the one team that is currently in the lead by a lot of points. They have that buffer. They have that cushion. Meanwhile, LGD once again making a big push towards North George. Leighton spots the bike. It's going to be a hard shot to land. But, you know, when you've got an M4 and you've got an angled on, anything's possible.
I just want us to zoom in almost on that Optic Avanga LGD area. You're seeing all these players trying to close in together. Avanga have the kind of western side, Method have the east, but not by much, and LGD turning up to the wrong party here. Keen not having much of it, doesn't want to over. Oh, goes flying, LGD takes to the air, and it's the only way to escape so far.
Tap, 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 trying to go for the long distance scar. Certainly not impossible, but will crash into the rock. Smoke goes down with me. Excuse me, it's actually going to be a hand grenade. Might have been just a little bit to the left, but the explosion may just cop him. First aid will get cracked off there, so he will at least stay alive. Looking uphill, he's got the information, fires back. It's okay. I'll happily accept this challenge. Scar versus Scar. As you say, both of them without optics, one of them with a comp, so Esther with the comp and the high ground, you would have to say the advantage is him. He's going to be very, very tanked up. That bike's smoking. If he wants to try and get away, oh, this has to die. Easy kill. Headshot comes through. And that, my friends, GG.
early kills coming out. It does seem as though Vanga have got them cemented into this position. Optic feeling okay for now, but there are people at the doors knocking for entry. Kingwin looking towards the north, and that's where Noble is currently, so this could be fun. While I say Noble, it's just really ridiculous in his car, having a little look around. The rest of Noble over in Severny, this could be problematic if he gets spotted, but he does make it away scot-free for now.
Bit of trigger discipline coming out of Marasu there, at least doesn't just pop off and giving the shots. We are seeing more bullets, though, coming down from that North George fight. We do need to keep eyes on that because this could be the downfall of Optic Gaming. Should LGD cause them a problem? There is only 2 members remaining, Munguino and Simba. They have all the height in the world.
Bahawaka is isolated to a degree. He's on the other side of the road. It's not the end of the world for now. His teammates can help him out. And he's decently geared, level 2 helmet now, so you can take some of these peeks out of the window. You don't be doing that with a level 1. That can hurt. So again, gonna take his time on this, look for ways to maybe find his teammates down the line. But for now, you can see again, Avanga taking some kills. But wait, Keen's been knocked. This is problematic. KSV getting into the action, and his Pig really raining down trouble for them. Can he get the kills, though? He's desperate for another tag, but he only gets one, so they stay alive for now.
Uh-oh, this isn't good because he's tagged him enough that he might actually bleed out. All depends how far his teammates can get to him and see if they can get the pickup. We'll keep an eye on that kill feed to see his fall. I don't think he had anyone close enough to do so.
They're trying to get their Mumino.
Oh, there's 2? I didn't realize.
Yeah, both of them are knocked. They're running over. KSV have eyes on this, though, and Method are happy letting this happen.
Imagine.
And look at this. Beautiful setup. 8 on the SKS. Level 3 vest, level 2 helmet. Pig is looking like he's rolling in it, and he's having a great time at this one. And now Noble in trouble again. All these teams who are looking towards the top are suffering early on, and that means this game is back up for grabs. If we see Avanga fall with 2 more players, that's where the problems really begin. But for now, it's Noble trying to keep things alive. McCoy goes on the swing, and he doesn't win it. Idaculous.
Wow.
A rather miraculous shot there to keep Noble alive in this one. All players now standing, or at least the 3 that were remaining, pushing towards that position.
Edak, what an absolute belting nerves of steel to hold your ground like that when a guy's peeking you from around a corner. It's very rare you get a player who'll just happily sit out in the open. You usually see them back down and the player behind the rock will peek, clean up the kill while they are on the retreat. But that man just stood his ground and said, all right then, you want to come from behind your rock, bring it, Sunshine, takes him down, drills him.
Method.
Noble grabbed themselves a kill.
The
but
trolls under the bridge.
Yes, this is the
huge.
usual setup where you see Method take the Godspeed building. Leighton will get the initial shots, take off half the health. Vishen gets away with his life. But it's a beautiful pincer.
Turtle just needs one more shot on that, and that would have been job done. The bike's done for, though. So again, they're still in trouble, but Method don't want to overextend. You know there's more coming, and this could be free farm for Leighton here. Out in the open, they scurry, but they can't get away just yet. The reload might buy him a second or 2, but these shots are terrifying right now.
M4 silenced, angled 8 times as well. Leighton can be a laser pen right now, just tagging players up and then going to call for the rest of Method to try and be on the cleanup crew. Just look at this map. Look at how many teams you have still in the center of this circle. Avanga have indeed lost 2. And that was very early game. They haven't answered back with any kills right now, so they're kept held. Currently, no teams down whatsoever. Still 16 alive in this. Turtle once again.
How are you still alive here? Turtle is peppering down that buggy, but it seems to be more of a tank than a buggy at this point. And the rest of Method now arrive. So looking at this point, Method are trying to get kills. That position, that sort of angle they're holding is all about trying to get frags, and that's what they're attempting to do. TSM going to be gatekeeping with whatever they got left. That's Break and AMPR on the eastern side. KLG still out. FaZe now working their way around towards the north. Rogue on the way up. Vitality still alive too. And Tempo Storm with Cloud9 towards the south.
KSV have just called all kinds of problems to different teams. The place that they went just along that hill line, just on the ridge, they've got eyes on every single person. Anybody who wants to try and kind of focus fire and go the way through the middle, it is, of course, a bit of a ditch kind of area where you have to run through and get up through that north area. They can keep all their eyes on it. Fair enough, you've got a lot of cover, you've got lots of hardline cover from the trees, but they've just been causing so many problems for so many teams. I mean, you can look here on the board. You've got a couple of drips and drabs from various different rosters. I mean, at the moment, it's all eyes on Optic and Avanga because of how close they are.
Could be really problematic for Cloud9 here. He's in a good position in Gatka, able to get down a couple of shots on them. They could just drive off, but if they lose a few on the way through, that's really, really problematic for them going forward. You want to keep that squad alive as they are very much competitive at this point, and a little bit of a throwback to the games earlier on. Here over the shooting range, a little bit of a makeshift compound made up with those cars and a couple of players in there as well. That's FaZe and Ghost up towards the northeast of this circle.
Not too bad gear here from Ghost Gaming. I've already seen a level 3 helmet I'm seeing a K98 amongst the players as well, so not a bad little setup here. TSM, they are having a fight with Rogue, though. You can see that. We'll move across to FaZe right now. We'll see LGD on the big swing, dips in the water, says thank you very much, Argo. MPR, though, takes one onto Jazza, but he does get answered back. That's Yannick. Headshot onto headshot. Who's going to get finished off there? Will it be Rogue? Will it be TSM? They currently have one player standing, and that's going to be Break. Will he be enough, though, to get AIM back up? We'll find out because the blues come down. Now, obviously, AIM's down outside in the blue, so he should fall. Brick might be the last man standing here for TSM. He is.
Yep. And there's more players coming past. Vitality and Rogue have been kind of fighting this one out against each other as well, and this could be problematic for both sides. You don't want to be taking these fights here. You just want to get towards that circle. This is not where you want to be. Rogue now kind of stuck here, Vitality moving in. You can see them not really wanting this either, because this player's on the bridge. They're already setting up, making this tricky, but the shift coming in from the south side of the circle is huge. Method on the move, Noble, KSV, Optic, LGD, all these players now having to look where to go. Rogue have found NPR in the end. He does go down, so that's a confirmed kill, but now look at Vitality. Not having any of this, they're going to go to the other bridge, which I don't blame them to do, and move away from this fight.
So this comes down to Optic Gaming. They've stayed, they landed in George, they've stayed in Dot. They are going to be absolutely geared out of their mind.
Noble, KSV, the fight towards the north. Everyone wants these compounds towards the coast, but it's Noble saying no. This is huge from them. Their positioning has been excellent, but they simply haven't had the kills to back it up. But that's not the case this time. Noble are fighting tooth and nail for this final. They want the kills, they want the positions, and they want that first place position.
They just need to keep going for it, and that seems to be what they're doing at the moment. Profi's going to pick up 2. You can see there, Larson will fall from Kingwin. We're on board with Kingwin now, looking towards what I call the God building. 3 members of Ghost down. They potentially could just push on this and completely do it. In fact, no, excuse me, it's Various. So it's Larson who's down there. Austin's down outside. Very messy here. Big battle for the God building. You've got the Harry Potter to the back. You've got the level 3 building here that gives so much cover from the top. You've also got a little mini compound. Doesn't really do much, but this is such a belting position to hold, especially when you've got this circle. Almost dead center. LGD there gone. Looks like Simba's just fallen as well, getting out. There's Bunguino, that's going to be Bauer. So Optic picking up one from LGD, who pushed them earlier on. But they do have 1 player remaining.
The big storyline is Optic getting kills, and Avanga aren't really doing that yet. They've had a really tough start, Avanga. They got pressured very early on, and they've struggled to kind of rebound and get back into the fights. So the more kills that come in, and did someone just fall out of a car? Shiv.
Rip.
It's not the dream right now, it really isn't. But keep eyes on Optic. The more kills they get, the further into the game they get, the better it is for them. But Method are right in this too. They're really going to try and get the kills racked up. They know that's their best option. Vitality moving in, and they could cause problems for Avanga if they make it past this squad. SST right here waiting with loving arms open to see who's going to come through. And it's going to be Monkey from Vitality to suffer first at his hand.
And it was actually Shiv, I believe, who did press F, unfortunately. People need to press F in the chat right now because he's still down. So that might be 2 members of Vitality we see fall pretty much consecutively. Break outside the circle. Where else would you expect him to be? So Vitality having a few problems of their own. SST here. Look at this. Level 3 vest, level 2 helmet. M4 in hand, plenty of stims, plenty of meds, happy days. They can just wander happily over to the boys from Method. And of course, it's Andy. Level 1 chest, not too good. Level 2 helmet, so he can at least peek. Plenty of stims in the back, but an M4 with an 8 times.
Yeah, he can blitz down people with that. You know he's got aim. He's that raw firepower. I hate this compound personally because you have that hill behind you, so it's very hard to shoot up against it, and it's hard to rotate out. But again, these guys are powerful. They're very good individually, so that kind of changes. It shifts away from the normal angles. Just put Skoom around that area. He seems to do quite well if you throw your minds back to Oakland. But keeping into this game, it's down again. Looking at the big teams here. Optic still alive and kicking, taking fights, looking for possibilities to get those kills. Avanga holding on for dear life, and FaZe trying to lay down some shots. They're still doing okay. Bit of an underwhelming performance overall, but maybe they can recover a little bit in this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, that they're down, but certainly not out, and it kind of all depends if Avanga falls early. They've already lost 2, and people will have seen that in the kill feed, and this kind of screams volumes to the rest of the team saying, okay, well, the number 1 boys, they're in trouble. Maybe we can capitalize on this. You'll now see the people going to the water, trying to play for placement. They'll go chill in the boats. Fair play to them. That's what they want to do. Optic have moved up to the fields. Avanga is still just sitting back and holding on for this placement play. Noble wandering around in the north as well. We still have KSV. This was the earlier fight. But they have this beautiful little defilade here. It's kind of like a bit of a crater. They have 2 dips on either side. They
and
also
the
have
circles
the trees. The circle as well, completely right. This is the best place to be up in the north. The circle has just swung. We've got about 20% water, but it's going to be KSV and Noble. They are currently the kings of the center.
And talking about the teams at the top, which is your Avanga and your Optic. Optic are pretty okay for now. They're going to get pressured by Method, but I'm pretty sure Optic are in the better spot here unless you're going to see something filthy from the boys in Method, which, hey, I wouldn't be too surprised at. But coming back to top, it's Avanga who's got a long way to go, but the shots coming in from iPuck. He gets the tags on the car. Method are in trouble. Andy's going to get away. The car's on fire. And I'm pretty sure that might be Andy down at this point. I don't think he can be recovered. And now the rest of Method want to try and avenge their fallen teammate, but Optic look like they want to do damage here. Bahawaka looking deadly, and yeah, indeed, it was Andy, I'm pretty sure, who's struggled in this one.
C9 have lost 2 as well. That wasn't great. They got pincered by 2 people. I think Vitality were actually behind them, causing all kinds of problems. Bauer's going for a few shots himself. He sees FaZe on the move. The rotation comes in. Hypoc as well. Tap, tap, tap. Just going for these blind fire shots, hoping for a free kill. Gypty, he takes a bullet, does manage to get away though. Bauer still. Optic right now, they're just laying the hammer down, shooting at everything that moves, hoping to pick up 10 points. Because they are the number 2 team that can challenge number 1. Avanga, though, they're still chilling, but
terrified.
They are outside the circle. They have a gauntlet to run if they want to get inside.
Yeah, they've got a lot of teams to get through, and the ones are pretty talented in between them. Vitality stand in their way, then Method, and then you got Rogue off to the east, and then Optic. Avanga are now on the move. Araxi could be the one to stop this. He knows what's happening. He's right next to them as well. Keep your eyes on that kill feed. If they go down, it's all up for grabs, and Optic might look good in this one. But for now, here we go. It looks like you can see Method, a couple of them moving around, trying to get into better positions. Turtle trying to move away, and Avanga are in the fights. KSV, and I'm not sure if they're still alive. Turtle's gone down. Shadow finds Mumino. This is the fight. These are the ones. Araxi gets the kill as well. This is troubling time for Avanga. They were sitting pretty at the top, but for a quiet game and an early dropout, this opens things up for Optic.
Now, I actually got things wrong. I only thought there was 2 of them left, but there's actually 2 left. In fact, they've just been blown up. That's Avanga gone down. 16th place. Your number 1 team's eliminated in game number 8. The whole entire leaderboard now, Pansy, is open up. This can be anybody's.
You're looking at Optic, you're looking at Noble and Cloud9. Method as an outsider if they get mad amounts of kills and they take down these teams who stand in their way. It is all very much up for grabs. SST on the move. You can see Wesker there trying to get into the new circle, but vehicles become paramount. They become the premium here. If you can get them to a good spot and not get completely peppered down the way, you can make your own cover because it's starting to look a little sparse.
This is the story of Avanga. When they get a bad rotation like that, they get mopped up. 3 players remaining, 2 vehicles amongst them. Vitality takes out 1. All of a sudden, I think it was actually Rogue in the end. They took out 2.
He's pushing this. Hetra's keeping them pinned, and you're going to see Bahawaka going on the push. They want kills. Optic are playing out of their minds right now. We need to switch over to him if he can get this kill, but Vitality still finding kills here as well. Method looking like they're in trouble, and I'm loving this from Optic. This is smart. This is aggressive play, and it works so well. Tempo Storm keeping people under pressure, but they're not the main storyline for me right now. It's the teams who can really push themselves further at this point. Optic want every fight they can. You can see Bahawaka, the player who pushed up under the cover of his teammates, now in a little bit of a predicament. He can't push any further forward, and he needs to be careful of the teams now moving in. There's still Break there who could be a real nuisance if they're not expecting that angle.
Method will be the second team to come to the sword. Unfortunately, they fall down. A lot of these top-end teams causing lots of problems now. This entire board will be shifting up placements. Rogue, they'll be running on the edge of the blue. Circle shifts in. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Noble, KSV, Optic, FaZe, they're all in there. LGD on the back foot. We can also see KLG. They can come in late from any different angle, but FaZe, they'll be on the border. They'll be border control, just watching them as they try to approach from the water. If they do, it could be all kinds of problems because they're going to have to come in with vehicles, and that's an easy target. Meanwhile, Rogue onto Ghost Gaming, headshot, Car 98, thank you very much. More kills like that onto some of these teams that are still around that top 7. It can cause all kinds of problems as things can switch up rather easily.
Wesker, almost kind of unfortunate for Optic in that they were the ones fighting him, but Tempo Storm actually picked up the kill, so they get the points. Now Noble looking for fights here. They're safe in the circle, but you don't want to be passive in this. You still want to keep other teams on their toes, keep them kind of guessing, keep them not too happy to push into these positions. They're another team that you've got to keep your eyes on. Another that we haven't been able to speak about much, because they've been kind of quiet, is Cloud9. Getting themselves into that top 4 has meant they are certain contenders here in the final round.
FaZe, for me, are the ones to watch here. Being on the border of that circle can do so much. Just being the protector to stop anyone walking through it. They have so much line of sight. They can look at KLG, they can look at TS, they can even look at Optic
and Vitality. This is another big fight for them. Vitality, exceptionally good at these sort of fights. Got to be careful. You can't underestimate what they can do.
Pushing.
And Bahawaka, again, he's just unleashed. He's you know, a dog with a bone at this point. He wants more. Shadow on the other side of this. Not sure who else is with him, but Bahawaka and 17 on the move. Moody, though, wants a bit of the action. That's Rogue struggling now. They're under severe pressure and fire. And there's that dinner plate, not serving up the chicken this time, but that will. Moody on the flank, and it's exceptional work. Rogue are in shreds.
Time to come in clutch, and he picks up his team captain as well. Moody and Solid, they managed to stay alive. Noble, though, a noble performance so far, but he is dropped down. Boom will get tagged. He has to fall. Look at Bahawaka. He wants to finish these off. Bahawaka takes out breaks. That's another kill from them. TSM, they're gone. But look at this. They could easily do so much. I spoke about earlier on. FaZe just protecting the edge, the border of that circle. KLG, they fall down. Papayaya, he's gone. Bahawaka knows exactly where they are, but he has this defilade on the side of the road. They can play off it so well.
But look at 17. He's positioned to stop Vitality being able to move up on the eastern side of that road. It's an incredibly tough crossfire to move away from. Bahawaka now can take the time to push across the road and apply further pressure. Goes Gaming and Kingwin towards the north having a fight. But they can't change the standings. We need to keep on board with Vitality and Optic surely at this point. Shadow, I think, is the only one standing. If he goes down, that's going to be done for. That's Vitality gone. And Optic having a high kill game is massive. And there you go. Araxi goes down to a nade, but that's not the final player. Shadow still stands for Vitality, and that is what we should be looking at. And there's the other nade. It's done for. Optic are playing out of their minds, just taking down anyone who would dare go near them.
This is insane. Everything's just going so well. FaZe are holding back one team. Tempo Storm are creeping in. Noble is still chilling the same position. C9, Moody, and Solid, they'll be teaming up together. The buddy system coming in. They've got themselves a nice free care package as well. KSV controlling the center of the circle. But I tell you what, look at Ghost Gaming. And of course, Kingwin fighting tooth and nail for this rock side. Noble, though, they're in a very open position. Fair enough, they have the defilades to play off of. But they have 4 teams around them. Kingwin, they're falling victim to Ghost Gaming over on this rock side. Mirisu, the only one alive. But now Optic, once again, they're going to open up onto C9. Their North American compadres, they can shoot across there. I'd be interested to see what kind of weapons C9 actually have.
But also look at Tempo Storm. They could pinch on this. Optic need to be careful not to make too many enemies here. They're going to go slow side, I can imagine, but Cloud9 can shoot at their backs. Noble can do the same, and Tempo Storm are right in their way. Optic trying to trailblaze their way through this map and this entire fight, but they've got a lot of pressure coming from this northwestern side, and I'm wondering if Bahawaka knows this, got a theory, have heard shots, or if he's going to find out the hard way in a couple of seconds' time.
It's all going to quieten down for just a second. Move
They
across
know
to
it now.
Zampa's POV. He's got the information. Tag comes back. All right, son, you want to peek over the hill? Not a problem. I'll take a bullet for you.
And look at Optic. As soon as they make contact, they keep 2 players as the rotation points and put 2 players on the flank. Now, if you're Tempo Storm, you've got to be expecting pressure, but I don't know if you're going to expect this sort of play. Hypok goes on his own, and Zampa is left bleeding. Tempo Storm didn't expect this sort of madness out of Optic, but they see that trophy and they want that victory.
This comes in because of the gear that they've got, because they were allowed to stay in George for so long. You can see Hypok, level 3. He's not afraid to step up to the plate. They want more. They smell blood. They know the only way that they can actually win this is through points.
Optic are so smart. They split 2 players up quickly, and they've got the angle.
Doing it.
It's incredible work from Optic, and they don't know when they're done. They want more. Tempo Storm are looking so worse for wear. 2 players remaining. The surround! Etro goes down, but the trade comes in. Bahawaka is there. Not going to go down without a fight. They want more, and they're going to get it. There's 1 man left standing for Tempo Storm here in that smoke, waiting for a moment of respite. He's going to try and find the angle. 17 up. Bahawaka up. Can he maybe stop this run from them? The Blues moving in as well.
This is a big play. Zampa still there. He will step out. Spray down comes through. Hits him through the smoke, and now they can grab them out. Hypok is fallen, but they can pick him up. They wipe out Tempo. Another team falls victim to the green wall. They are playing outside their minds. Moody with a kill, a knock onto Boom. So now we see C9 and Noble. They're taking a fight still around that middle ground as they push towards one another.
They split, though. Boom went out on his own, kind of scouting this on the slow side. So Adaculus and Natural should now have an idea that that just isn't an option for us. Solid FPS there, Moody there, Optic, of course, the kind of headhunters right now that you don't want to mess with. So those guys can be left to their own devices. FaZe could be their downfall. While all this happens, KSV have set up their you know, their trenches. They've been digging down while everyone is fighting elsewhere. There's 8 teams remaining, plenty with opportunity. Boom does go down as he was knocked already, so that's not the big thing, but it's Cloud9 out-positioning Noble, taking the time and getting the circle on their side, as Adaculus is now the last man alive here. Natural's been knocked, and you can see Moody wants this. Look at that gun as well. Oh, it shreds him down. Moody, can he find Adaculus too? Adaculus now in the blue. He knows this is going to hurt. Moody's gone for it, though. They want to fight, and it's Moody coming up with the goods. Cloud9 still stand tall in this.
Easy peasy. 249 does its job. They're all rocking level 3s. Happy days here for C9 now. The interesting one is FaZe and Optic. 2 big branding names you'll see going up against one another in many, many different games, but they've all going to make their way to the circle. Not a single player's inside that circle. This will be a very interesting push. KSV, they can sit on the edge of the border of that circle and to stop these teams moving in.
Solid FPS.
Yeah, they're just going to whack up against them. If you see Moody transfer around as well, he can lay down with that 249 and just laser Optic if they get eyes on them.
KSV can be so just kind of filthily positioned, you know what I mean? They've got like kind of the prime cut of the land now. They can take wherever they want and get set up. Now look at the bottom side. You got FaZe, you got
so
Optic,
scary.
you got Cloud9, and you've got Ghost still in this with excellent positioning, taking masses of map control here and a lot of information. The next couple of kills could define the winner. FaZe, as much as they're in the underdog here, I don't think they can actually close out with a victory. They can stop other teams with a chance, and Optic want more kills. So they might be a little hungry for this, and if I'm honest, I wouldn't still want to walk into FaZe.
If you're a Vanga fan, you'd be shouting FaZe up right now because they can do so much damage to Optic. Shots will come through. Bauer's going to take a few. Hides back, but a bullet does come back. They push them in. 3 kills in the back here for FaZe. More bullets coming in, but that circle's going to move. The blue will force them in. They do have the slower side to Optic Gaming, so they can outrun this circle. But Optic a little bit further in, they can mop them up on the retreat. We'll see how this one goes. The vehicles come through. FaZe, they just beeline it towards that circle. They're all in. Optic have been gifted a little bit of a chance here. Meanwhile, Ghost Gaming and C9, solid. The last man standing for Cloud9. He answers back.
Optic have KSV in their way, and KSV just pushed out of the safety into the fight as well. That's pretty insane. Mad. That is really aggressive play for them. They're holding this ground. They want Optic to have the pressure on them. KSV set up the line of defense. Optic have to break past it, and you know they're beaten, they're broken. They've been battered, but they're coming out again. Hypok, he's a madman. He's completely unleashed right now. Yumu stands up. He's freezing. Oh, he goes down. Hypok again. Does not know when he's dead. And there it is. Optic are playing incredible PUBG right now. This is what you want to be seeing in a final round. This is Optic proving they are a top-tier team, and who can stop them right now?
They're feeling it, boys and girls. Oh, my word. Optic Gaming pushing in, not a problem whatsoever. Every single team that stands in their way, they accept the challenge and knock them down. The next team that may step up is going to be a combination of Ghost Gaming and C9. They're looking towards the edge of that circle. You can hear the bullets coming through.
Fuzzface just killed Define legit. They've got an angle on this push-up.
Oh, C9!
They don't know when to stop. Look at these guys. Hypok just found Moody, FaZe, helping them out at this point. Whack is standing up on the high ground. And you can see 17 pushing in for this, but the blue, it's moving in. An angle, it's been found. Another team down for Optic. These kills are incredible. You've got 11 between them right now. We need to see what more they can do. FaZe have an angle, but look at this high ground for Optic here. The next swing is huge. KLG have the north. Fiend there can cause huge problems, and it's going to play well towards GG, towards Ghost. FaZe don't have far to move, and they can mop up kills here. But Optic, you know they're hungry. They just want fights. They want blood. And they might just get it. Down on that bottom of the hill is Fuzzface. He's the kind of first contact point for FaZe. And Wacker's going to spot this out. He's got angles on these guys. He's got an 8 times. He could make this one problematic for FaZe. If they want to move up, they're going to get spotted on this.
Give himself a free crit as well, and an M24 to boot. What a bad man time to get a sniper round. LGD in the water, they're dead. Wacker's going on the flank. He's got the suit and he's got a 24.
Level 3 vest.
He smells FaZe just round the corner.
Wait,
but Fuzzface. That's the worry. If he spots him first, tap, 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 Wacker's going to just kind of be the person to draw the fire here, so they'll concentrate on them. Oh my God,
excellent
still
shot!
it! Hits him! Hexate falls!
Look who's pushed close. That could be the end here. This could be it. Fuzzface could be the complete downfall, and they've got support now coming out. You've got Fuzzface, you've got Yempty pushing up, and the rest of Optic have peeled off. There goes your danger man. Bahawaka is down, and that's some big loot coming in. But quick, smart rotations from 17. Fiend could be the downfall of FaZe. Round the back, but I think they spotted him out. Now, Ghost still have Profi up in this too. So he could play in as a late kind of, I guess, Joker card in this one. So we'll see if he comes into it, if 17 spots him. And Hypok's got a horrible route to run. He's got to hope that Fiend does the damage or buys him time, because look at Yempty, look at Fuzzface. They're moving in for the kill here. They're running up on this one. 3 teams now remain. This is what it comes down to. 7 players alive.
You spoke about Profi. He could be the one that causes all kinds of problems here. If he just steps out and sees one member of Optic,
Hypok's waiting.
He'll change this one. He knows what's going on. He has the kind of information. But with how many members of FaZe alive, it only takes them just to push in, just to rush him. And he'll pick up the kills. Hypok's going in, he's getting aggressive.
Such smart angles. He's denying line of sight.
He'll have the information. They're going to be running, but they're also going to get damage from the blue. They need to run towards him. He can just slowly peel away. Bullets come flying across. They eliminate Hypok. He's down. No way to save him. 17 will push them back. It all depends.
Profi?
What you want from Profi? He could be the one that could ruin this.
There's a little bit of a dip between them, so 17's actually kind of safe. Profi now opens up on FaZe. FaZe are in a great position. Profi as well going to do what he can, but the play zone has found Fuzzface. So FaZe are looking a little worse for wear, but 3 still alive. Profi towards the northeast. Optic still having 17 towards the southeast, and FaZe looking elsewhere. Trying to get the game, trying to get the map control, and let's see that circle. It's all FaZe's, baby. They've got that circle, so 17's in trouble. His position, it's noted. Profi, do you want to take down FaZe? Do you want to take down Optic? How do you want to define this fight? Can you make a difference? Bear in mind, the north side of this circle has almost no cover to it. Almost nothing there. 17 wants more kills. This could be his option. He could try and find this one. If he gets another kill, that could still bode incredibly well.
He doesn't have a helmet, and the opposing player in front of him, Profi, does have a level 3. FaZe know exactly where he is. You can hear them shooting at the tree just to give the warning sign. You step up, Sunshine, you'll be stepping out. They'll easily drop him. If he decides to go, then Profi, he'll opt to go for the holographic, wants to take this fight up close and personal. M16 compensator, level 3 helmet. He can do this. He can just spray him down should he go head to toe against 17. Look at Yempty though. If 17 steps out, he's going to absolutely murder him.
So look at the fast and the slow sides. You've got 6 seconds. Fast side is against Profi. He needs to move kind of first. 17 still closer to the circle. Yempty will die for this, and that's fine. Here comes the circle. Here comes the final move. These teams, it looks like FaZe might have the victory, but overall, those points are going to be everything. Can Optic do any more? No. There goes 17, and now it's down to Profi. Maybe he can pull something through here. Maybe make it tricky for FaZe, or it's the shooting gallery, and it is. FaZe do win the final round, but do they win the tournament?
I said during this game you had to watch out from FaZe. They did a massive rotation up to the north end of the circle, and they just chilled. They denied people moving in to that final circle. They picked up quite a few kills as well. Vanga finished 16th. They were dead last, and this is why this table right now, I have no idea who won. I mean, what was it, 120 points in the bag for Optic Gaming, and they came 3rd as well.
Yep.
That's a lot of points.
So let's put it this way as well. As it stood before this round, you had Avanga up top, Optic, Noble, Cloud9, Method, Vitality, and TSM. A lot of those teams dropped out early. Optic went off, decent finish, not perfect. Avanga obviously fell away. There's so much to be kind of number crunched throughout this game, but what an incredible final round here.
Yeah, amazing, amazing stuff. And you can tell by the players' faces, they're just as enthralled as we are. I have no idea whose game this was. It was a fantastic final match. But to break it down a little bit more, gentlemen at the desk, what a wild, wild game. Give us your thoughts.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. There were moments where I'm shaking. We are on the edge of our seats here, and I'm not joking by any means. FaZe gets themselves the win here in game number 8, but the big story here is Avanga getting 16th spot, opening it up for the potential for Optic to get the dream run. They got 12 kills. They were getting themselves in the top 3. We were absolutely going crazy back here. This was insane.
The other things you guys can't see is the stagehands came out and stole our chairs because we were jumping around, kicking things over. It was insane. And that was because of Optic. We knew the chances of somebody catching Avangard was so low.
Yes,
but they died first. I mean, I have to imagine Optic yelling in the mic saying, they're down. What do we do now? And then we saw it. They fought tooth, nail through multiple teams, one after another, to that ultimately taking out KSV. And they split off. And it was like the game wanted them to have to earn it because they kept chasing the circle, it was heartbreaking.
They played out of their minds. They got themselves, I think, 12 kills in the bag. I think we calculated it somewhere around, we're not 100% sure of these calculations, but 14 kills, 15 kills would have put them in very strong contention for that number one. We still don't know completely. As you can check in with the scoreboard now, look at the kills Optic was able to rack up. FaZe finally get themselves the chicken dinner that we all expected them to be able to get coming into this tournament of Avenger even, sorry, I should say. But overall, what a blinder of a last game. This is really, really tense.
We were screaming and yelling here. I hear Toffee's, obviously North American here, cheering for Optic, but they went through, I think, 7 squads?
Yeah.
7 squads. They were fighting 7 different squads. And all the circles kept pushing away, and they kept pushing into it, using smoke, using everything. Really amazing fight. I cheered for them myself even. They're amazing.
Absolutely. There's moments where 17 at the very end, we're theorizing, can he take out Profi, then maybe trade like a 1-for-1 trade with FaZe there at the very end? As FaZe have got themselves in a phenomenal position and were constantly just being able to push around. One thing that did happen towards the end, though, of course, was actually Optic was able to get that crate, an M24, ghillie suit. They didn't know Fuzzface was there, though.
And that was a really nice play by FaZe. Like, to give credit where credit is due. They moved to the cliffs, but they left Fuzzface back in sort of a defensive posture. What happened was he got the crate, he moved around, he got a really nice headshot over on the FaZe main core, but that alerted Fuzzface exactly where Baja Waka was. And, you know, he is one of the best fraggers in the world. I think #1 on Optic in terms of just who you want playing clutch for you. And they were able to push him, catch him off guard, and take him down, just barely, mind you. And that said, when that happened, it sort of just left Optic open.
It definitely did. Well, of course, before we kind of wrap things up here at the tournament, let's hear from Game 8's winners, FaZe, able to take the chicken dinner.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the stage. It's been a fantastic day, and we are moments away to finding out who won this amazing tournament. Talking about amazing, we got one of the most amazing teams in the world and one of the most loved ones. And talking about loved people, Fuzzface, welcome to the stage, and congratulations on getting the last chicken dinner. I think you guys needed that.
Yeah, we definitely needed it. We felt kind of good coming in to the event. We have been really consistent up until this point. And then yesterday we just didn't really play our game. So we talked a little bit about it last night. We had 2 bad games today as well. And then 1 second and 1 first. So obviously it helped a little bit. And then some mistakes were made on the process.
There you go. Now, you did mention that you were perfectly consistent so far into the matches. Well, so far up until the point of the LAN. Something switched, something de-clicked. I want you to tell me a little bit about that something. Do you think you guys have it pegged down, or do you still have yet to look at the VoDs, perhaps think about what went wrong?
I think we sort of know what we have done wrong, and I think it's easy to fix. So we're just gonna work on that and then be a better team.
All right, I'll take that as a war cry. That pretty much tells me that you guys are straight back into it, ready to come back at the next big event. Now, talking about big events, you guys have plenty of them lately, and you've done us proud. Let me just say that. You've done us real proud. Congratulations on that, on going on OG, and you've really, really pulled out a nice one there on enemy ground, so to speak, because 3PP is no longer something that we're used to here in the Western world. Talking about that, did you guys get accustomed to the pro star life with all the flights and all the planes and all the fans around you?
No, it's very new for all of us, and it's a journey we're all happy to take, I think.
There you go, a whole new world for FaZe, it is indeed. And it is indeed Fuzzface to be congratulated for the last chicken dinner, him and his team. Again, one of the most beloved teams out there. FaZe Clan staying strong and coming through with what they needed just to give themselves a bit of oomph for what's to come further up ahead. For you, it's been Boogie. We're going to come back at you pretty soon, but so far, we need to ask the desk guys what they think about this last match. Katowice, what do you guys think?
A crazy one, Boogie, indeed. And of course, FaZe there getting themselves that win. I think that overall, a lot of people expecting them to get themselves at least one win here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. But, you know, again, we got to talk about Game 8. We're going to talk about the whole tournament as well, kind of wrap things up a little bit before we obviously figure out who has actually been victorious. And I still want to focus on Optic from that game. Like, when it comes to star power performances in that game, nothing had the heart racing more than what we saw from Optic there. They went through team after team after team, and I'm sure you can elaborate on a little bit more of that, because it was a trailblazing performance.
So when they took this position on the field, they kind of made a triangle and just aggressively held everybody outside, both South, East. They fought Vitality, Cloud9, Method, Tempo Storm, KSV, and they even fought Cloud9 twice.
They did.
Yeah. When they were on the opposite side of the field and when they were up in the KSV compound. And it even left them. So they didn't even have time to loot. So I saw 2 of them having no helmet or no armor in that last fight versus FaZe, and FaZe didn't fight that much. They took the Saki compounds and the Saki houses, waiting to fight, so they were fully equipped, fully geared, level 3, level 2, everywhere.
I mean, it was clear to
me. So
me.
they were really limped out.
Well, it was clear to me that they knew we have to make this play. And when we talk to players, every team here, when I asked them early on, who are you scared of? Who are the best teams? Nobody wants to fight Vitality. In fact, yesterday I talked to Rogue, and they had a choice between pushing an open field towards Ghost or pushing a compound with Vitality in it, and they said they chose Ghost because Vitality's so good. Right, in this game, Optic saw Vitality and went at them because they knew the way they win was racking up kills, making hard pushes, and that's what they did. They fought through, like you said, almost 7 different teams, and that's like a question for you. I mean, how hard is it mentally as a player to go through that many amazing teams one after another? Because you're seeing, I just knocked, the number 3 player in the world, the number 6 player in the world.
It was a gauntlet.
Well, what's that like?
So when you do these BO5 or BO8s, when you have this mentality, when you see the teams you fight against to have a top position, you get so hyped and you talk about it. So I just imagine how much they must have been screaming, Vanguard's down, Vanguard's down.
Yeah, of course.
So they just like pull up the mindset. But what 17 said yesterday, they play without emotion. I don't think they played without emotion in this last game.
And it worked, right? And you know what I'd love to see as a statistic, if somebody can compile this by watching replays down the line of how many like helmets they changed or how many vests they grabbed throughout that process. Because they were, there were spray fights left and right. We know Tempo Storm has had a rough week this week. However, they're some of the best individual shooters in the region, and they went head-to-head with them. That was a beautiful fight with almost no cover whatsoever. Everybody lost gear and sort of just kept that rolling, and it was just, oh my gosh, it's one of the most exciting fights I've watched in a long time.
Absolutely. I mean, just to keep you guys updated back at home, we're still just making sure we're tallying up the points completely here so that we can 100% figure out exactly who is victorious. At the moment, obviously, the big contenders in there created this situation in game number 8 where, as you were saying, Avenger, once Avanga goes down in 16th place there, what an opportunity it would be to just kind of get into the comms of those teams and hear exactly the reaction, knowing that the number 1 team right now has gone out in 16th place when they're about 400 points ahead to try and make those miracle runs here. And Optic Gaming has certainly attempted to do that. No stretch of the imagination. And that was an amazing performance. Personally, because of the scene that game set, it's one of my favorite games of all time. That game alone. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, big props to Profi for playing spoiler there, lasting so long, making sure he sort of held out 17 at the end.
Yes.
And, there is a little bit of a question here. Avangard did go out in last place, and that, I think, is a symptom of they didn't get to play their game. That, Avangard is not the kind of team that sort of holds back and waits. And we saw that. We saw them leave somebody in North Georgia pool. They were slow playing separately, and I think that sort of fell apart on them. So hopefully they pick up on this for future tournaments and say, you know what, even if we're ahead, we're going to play Avangard PUBG.
That's a really good point that you bring up, because, when you are that far ahead, Avenger, I assume that, in the mindset of a pro player, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, let's just wait it out. Let's just play that defensive game, like Toffees is alluding to. But Avanga thrives in combat, right? They are born in fire. They want the opportunities to just find the shots, find the kills.
The only other final I've actually seen where you had such a big lead in a BO5 or BO8 match was actually Noble in the NA qualifiers. They, after 3 matches, we talked about it yesterday, but after 3 matches, they were so far ahead, they were a guaranteed spot. But coming into this, we saw 2 teams taking 2 dinners with some of the best teams in the world. And Avanga doing their thing. 1,900 points after 7. I don't know if they just said, okay, guys, let's just do something different.
Well, the game's evolved. To be honest, the fact that you almost have to have 3 dinners to win without a risk of losing at this point is crazy. When we talk about Oakland, a mere couple of months ago, a 2 chicken dinner team didn't make it into the money.
DC.
And
they did make it into
They made the money, but they didn't make it into the top 3, I think, right? So they struggled. And a single chicken dinner team, Vitality, did win the whole thing. This time around, if you didn't have 2, you weren't even in in the mix.
Indeed, with the Vanguard taking the 2, both of those contributing about 570 to 560 points with the kills that they got on top of that. Optic Gaming grabbing themselves 2, and this position, this third position, second position, wherever you want to go with it, so very close, I feel, to trying to eke out this final situation.
It was one of those ones where I think if 17 had been able to kill Profi, if he had gotten the chicken dinner for sure, we're pretty sure that was their game. But killing Profi would have put it within, I think, 20 points maybe of going either way.
The funny thing is that during the tournament, we've been, talking to each other, thinking about things, kind of almost choosing in our minds an MVP for each game. I think someone like 17 for me, throughout the entire tournament, really stands out. Not only as a scout, but also kind of situational awareness, when he's been able to take the fights and kills. Is that a fair assessment?
I think so. I mean, you could have, 17 could have said, Hyper, come with me, play 2, but they wanted to make sure that they didn't push over this ledge without knowing, so 17 could position himself. So it's just, I think it's a really good leadership coming into this. Okay, I'm going to push to this, so I'm going to be able to be in the new zone, but still, let's leave a guy so when FaZe pushes so, because that ridge and ledge is so really powerful. And then in the end, FaZe got that last circle favor, which obviously give them the game.
And in terms of a personal point, I mean, I think Baja Waka gets a lot of props for Team Optic. He's one of the best fraggers in the world. But really, for me, like you said, MVP is the 17. The idea that he brings this leadership to the team. You saw the interviews this week. He's very composed. He has a great discipline. He spent 5 years in military service, sort of getting that composure and learning discipline. When you talk to him, you can see it, you can feel it. And I think he brings something so valuable to this team and just makes them really, really strong.
Well, gentlemen, I just got word that the results are in. So let's head over to the stage as we can reveal the champions here for the PUBG Invitational here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice.
2 days of fire, blood, and sweat. The top teams, some of the best in the world, really throwing it down for you, really showing you what it means to be a professional in a very difficult game. And it's been a beautiful journey so far. Hi, my name is Boogie, and I'm quite happy to bring you the champions of IEM Katowice 2018, Team Vanguard. Let's see what these guys have to say. Gents, Russia is proud of you. Very, very proud. The whole world of PUBG is proud of what you've achieved today. And what you've achieved is nothing short of legendary. Congratulations once again for winning a very coveted prize, one of the top prizes in the world at this time. You're basically opening up the doors for every pro to come in here, for everybody that wants to become a pro, and look at you as the legends that you are today. Now, Drades, I want to have a couple of words with you. Again, Russia is indeed proud of you boys, and they're proud of the way you've played today because you've showed no fear today and yesterday. Your game style, the way you deal with things, the way you deal with enemy teams is unseen. Nobody else does what you do. Do you think this is the way that everybody should play from here on out?
I'm just extremely proud of my team since, due to different reasons, we had to miss the tournament in Oakland. We made our way through qualifiers. We won 2 European qualifiers. In final, we made our way here. And, you know, we started with 16th place, but we never lost the spirit, you know. We had it really, we were really strong. We managed to come back. And I want to personally thank many people. And the first thing is that this rivalry versus Optic was insane. Like this probably was the most nervous moments of my life. Like these 5 minutes, I was waiting for them waiting for the points to get count. And I wanna say all the fans, probably the most important thing that I know, a ridiculous amount of people rooting for us back in Russia, Kazakhstan, Ukraine, Belarus, every CIS country. Many thanks to the Russian casters, Cake, Starsky, Katowice, and the beautiful girl community watching us right now as well. We all thank you. Thank you very much for not losing trust in us. We were fighting till the end, and I'm really happy we managed to win this time.
Congratulations once again, Drades and everybody else from Vanguard. You've shown us that unlikely heroes, and when they get together, the best of men can achieve something amazing here. So you are indeed the legends of IEM Katowice 2018. And with that in mind, we've seen some fantastic stuff right here. It's been an amazing tournament, a tournament that has shown us really, really great stuff. And most of all, we've learned to be good to one another. That's the way to come on the top in PUBG, and that's why we love this game. Now, we're going to be talking about how the game ended, of course. We need to break it down to you because what these guys have achieved is indeed incredible, and perhaps right now it's even settling into their own minds. Maybe they don't even know it yet, but the death sure has some answers. So, Katowice, what do you guys think about this one?
Dream.
Thank you very much. Phenomenal scenes here from the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice as Vanga have been victorious. What a moment for them as they were not able to go to the Intel Extreme Masters Oakland, not able to participate there, wanted to prove themselves here on one of the grandest stages of them all here in the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. And from not going to Oakland to winning Katowice, that is a phenomenal achievement here, Toffees.
Mind-boggling. I mean, this was an amazing event, and like they said, they were on the edge of their seats the entire time.
Yes.
I think this is going to go down as one of the best final games that we've ever seen in terms of excitement. And you know, a big props to them. They played well. I got to give props to Avenger here, who said they're consistent. He's one of their picks to potentially take this thing home.
That's true.
And I judged you. I said, no, they're too roller coaster. They're too back and forth, too smash mouth. You can't depend on them. But it worked, man. It worked, and it worked well.
That's right. I mean, Avenger, let's go to you with this, because we, at the beginning of the tournament, all of the experts sit down, the commentators, myself, I'm not really an expert, but I do what I can, and we were discussing. Some people said, Avenger, as you say, not exactly the most consistent. You backed them as being consistent. Your thoughts on their victory here?
I mean, when you talk to Avenger and you hear them say, we don't like millicircles, and then the first day we get two.
Two, yeah.
And they still get a fair amount of points the first day, and here the second day we actually get some good circles for them and really prove themselves how consistent they are.
Yes.
But yeah, we do get some military circles sometimes, and that's not that good for them. But yeah, I put them in my my top 3 because I think they're extremely consistent. Once they are on foot, their macro play needs some fine tuning, but their macro play needs fine-tuning, but once they're on foot and they push, they're amazing.
Yeah, they love it. They love it. And there they are celebrating their victory here, showing that they are the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice champions. Let's check out the standings to make sure you are fully up to date with who got themselves 2nd, 3rd, 4th, as well as they are in the money. Optic Gaming caught up furiously in that last game. And look at that, Cloud9 and FaZe able to take 3rd and 4th. Considering the way Cloud9 and FaZe came into day number 2, that is an amazing result from them, knocking off, I think, Noble, Method, and Vitality, who were really looking for those top 4 spots.
Frolicker said they knew they had to make some big moves. They They were disappointed with the finishes they had yesterday. They came in, they played well, and they made every single team who did get them fight for every single step they took. So congratulations to Cloud9 for making it to that third spot when I knew it was a fight to get there.
Absolutely.
I mean, Moody and Solid here, the two guys in the end, they killed Rogue, a 2 versus 3, and they really pushed forward. They played amazing. That's why they deserve this third place.
What a tournament, what a tournament. And also, you know, coming into day number 2, we thought to ourselves, what's happening to FaZe? Have they been unlucky? Are they being a little bit unimpressive with their performances? Getting themselves that first place towards game number 8 and being able to push on to a 4th place here, kind of redeeming a little bit of the precedent that they set in day number 1. Day number 1, there you go, which wasn't that impressive, but day number 2 definitely was.
They fought back. They proved that they deserve their status as one of the top teams in the world, and that is what tells me what a top team is. The idea that you can struggle and come back. I mean, let's look at even our winners this week of Vengar. They are a tale for any player, casual or pro. They started out with a 16th, right? They started with a really terrible game. They had a 10th, and they still came back and won with a never say die attitude. That's why PUBG is great, because you're never out of it until you say you're out of it.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Avenger, on the tournament as a whole, Vanguard being able to move forwards?
I simply loved how Uptick, they were able to come out of a recent change, a recent lineup change, and come into this and doing that great. I really love that.
Yourself, Toffees, final thoughts before we close things out?
You know what? When I came here, I was hoping for an amazing experience. This has been far and away more than I ever expected. Thank you to both of you for making this so much fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for the teams, best teams in the world, really put on a show for all of us. So I can't wait till we do this again.
Yeah, same here, same here. What a tournament we've had. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining me here at the analysis desk. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you the Player Unknown Battlegrounds Invitational as we are done here at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice. Congratulations to Avanga as they have taken number 1 here in Katowice.
Убила до последнего КСВ.
That's a knock, that's a knock. Players across from us south.
Nice.
dead.
Nice.
Yep.
Straight, shoot down.
Just finished or not?
Yeah, get back inside.
Oh, no, it's not. They drove fast. Knocked. Finish him, finish him.
Both dead.
Yeah, right in front of him.
Yeah. Just calm down. Just chill. Just chill.
Oh no, I hit a rock.
Heal up, guys.